There again, until we really get into a lot more of some of these team settings, particularly in the return game, I want to be careful. But just watching his movement skills and the drill work as a returner, and even some of the little things as a receiver, it's even better than I thought. Just, there's things about him. I mean, you watch him maneuver through some of these drills, and it looks pretty good. So that's pretty exciting. Like Dortch. He's working. He's supposed to be one of the guys and adapt to what we do and how we do it. And I think every day he gets a little bit better and learns how we go through and do what we do.
He's talking about Greg Dortch, and Dortch right now is, we would probably slot him in that number 4 wide receiver slot. I guess he could possibly compete with Isaac TeSlaa for snaps, as the 3rd, 4th wide receiver. But that's good. That's good news. So Greg Dortch comes to you from Arizona and is familiar with what Drew Petzing's already doing. So he does have a little bit of a leg up just going into it. But that's cool. You brought in a younger version, like a Khalif Raymond type. So looks like he's going to be able to add some value as a wide receiver.
More growth, it can't just be that. It can't just be down the field one-handed. It can't be, he's got to expand his route tree. He's got to get better at those things. And that's growth into the second year. I mean, that's part. Look, the guy is smart. He busts his tail. He's going to block in the run game. But now some of it is, work at the line of scrimmage, Some of it is, once I get into this route, is at the top of the route, some of these digs, maybe it's slant, maybe. And so that's kind of the next progression, man, because we don't see him. He's not just we don't just see that. Okay, this is all this guy does. Now, with every player we have, what do they excel at? And we're going to ask him to do a lot of those things, but we see more than that with him. We think this guy can run the tree, and then he's just got to work through it, every day like everybody else.
I pick up on little things when it comes to these press conferences right here, and it's just like he talked about Greg Dortch, and then he talked about Isaac TeSlaa. So just reading between the lines and just the energy that he was giving that, I would say that Greg Dortch is ahead of Isaac TeSlaa on the with the thoughts right here. He has a leg up. You're going to have a leg up. Not only is Isaac TeSlaa still a young player, Greg Dortch is coming in from Arizona with Drew Petzing as his offensive coordinator last year. So you talk about a guy that's already just on the mental game and understanding spacing and that type of stuff. If you already know all of that stuff coming into it, he had a leg up on anybody that hasn't been under Drew Petzing before. Something to think about right there. But, he didn't say anything bad about Isaac TeSlaa right there, but he was definitely more glowing about Greg Dortch than he was about Isaac TeSlaa. He pointed out all the work that TeSlaa needs to do to be a good wide receiver, and working hard, being a good blocker, that's all important stuff too. But seems like he was pretty glowing about Greg Dortch. What he offers on special teams, what he can offer as a receiver or just a playmaker. So I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Dortch has more of a role, or maybe even an equal role to TeSlaa. I'm probably reading into it too much. You're probably right. Yeah, I agree with you, David. Trying to motivate, but he's also a very real person. Like when Dan Campbell is talking about things, it's almost like he can't not give you some of the truth. Seeing Dan say to the media that TeSlaa is struggling a little bit right now and that he's working through some things. And I do believe there is some motivation in there, but there's also some truth in that. And you know, he's a young player, so it's like, and he's a young player that has, like, you know, 6'4". You can't teach 6'4" and jumping ability and, you know, that the speed that he has. So now it's about, you know, elevating the game. And I know that he'll be there too, David. And I agree with you. But I also agree that Greg Dortch has a leg up in this offense because Drew Petzing was his offensive coordinator last year.